Next, they've listened to 2 days of complex legal argument, and now campaigners fighting for the future of RAF Scampton face an anxious wait to find out whether the government's decision to use it to house asylum seekers was lawful.
In the High Court today, lawyers for the Home Office defended their use of emergency planning laws in order to develop the base.
Well, Emma Wilkinson is live for us in London tonight. And Emma, can you tell us more?
Yes, those planning rules you mentioned there, they allow development in an emergency, but only for up to 12 months. And the Home Office told the court today that since the pandemic, there has been a dramatic rise in the number of asylum seekers needing accommodation, and that when it made its decision to use Scampton back in March, it was housing 48,000 people in 380 hotels. And it said the risk of destitute asylum seekers becoming homeless is an emergency. And it said, indeed, there had already been an emergency situation at Manston Asylum Centre in Kent, where it said there had been dangerous overcrowding. And so its plan for Scampton, it said, would help avoid emergencies such as that.
And Emma, what about this question of how long they intend to use Scampton?
Well, in just the past few days, the Home Office has decided to seek special permission to use Scampton for an additional 3 years. But it insisted in court today that when it made the initial decision back in March, that was not the firm plan, that it only intended to use it for 12 months as allowed in the emergency planning rules. And it said although there were discussions about using it for longer potentially, that there were no firm plans for that. Well, listening to those submissions today were people who have travelled down from Lincolnshire, local residents, local councillors and the local MP. And as you would imagine, they were very critical of the Home Office's arguments, particularly given the regeneration project that was already on the table.
This jeopardises this £300 million development bid for Scampton. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity in terms of that regeneration project for Scampton, and it's still at risk.
How much is riding on this?
It's going to be torture, absolute torture. Just every day waiting for the phone to ring to say that she's going to make the announcement tomorrow or this afternoon. Everyone's going to struggle because it's getting sort of close to the date when they want to move people on now.
Well, the judge in this case has a lot to consider. She has reserved judgment, so we're likely to get that in 2 or 3 weeks at least. So for those fighting this, it will be a very nervous wait. There is a lot riding on it for a lot of people, but it's clear that whatever the judgment is, it will certainly be far from the end of the road.
Yes, indeed. Thanks very much indeed, Emma. Emma Wilkinson there in London, reporting live.